All right, guys, welcome back. And guess what day it is? It is Wednesday. That is hump day. And so naturally on hump day, we started talking about chicks. And who just came up in our conversation?
CHARLIZE Theron, or
Yeah,
Theron, or Heron, or
whatever you call her.
nobody could pronounce her name.
So certain things we were talking about. Number one, I think Wikipedia said she's only 5'10". For some reason, I thought she was much taller. I thought she was like 6'4" or something. I have no idea why. Not that I care about her height, but I just thought that was interesting. Number two is, should we shoot our shot? Right?
You mean you? I'm married.
Well, whoever.
Yes, of
Whoever
course you should.
whoever's out there around the world, should they give her a quick email and be like, hey, you're always complaining about being single. Let's go on a date.
100%. You always shoot your shot.
And if you're only shooting your shot at tens, eventually a ten's going to say yes, right?
That's exactly right. That's 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some things are like that. You just have to agree.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, should I have a buzz ball at 4:26 on Wednesday?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody.
Yeah.
Enjoy your beers.
4:25, no. 4:26, buzzball. I heard Bert Kreischer talking about buzzballs. These things are great. These things could cure cancer. You put this on a bullet wound. It's like Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade. He's pouring water out of what is it, Jesus's chalice? What is that called? The Holy Grail. And it heals the bullet wound on Sean Connery. I
Yeah.
bet this does the same. Don't try that, though.
I don't think buzzballs do that. But I can tell you what they do. You gave me one of the bigger ones, and I chugged it, and I don't know what the hell happened, but 4 days later, I was like downtown still having a great time. So, yeah, they work pretty well.
Duggo just said doo-doo.
Yes, yes.
That's going to be the level on this show. So one of the great things one of the great things about social media or Instagram or all those things is you see these different memes and quotes and they resonate with you. You know, people hire someone like Tony Robbins, the self-help guru. They pay him $1 million, for 3 hours. You know why? Because he's going to say 2 or 3 things in that couple of hours, and you'll make another $1 billion in 2 years.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not what he says, because he only says 1 or 2 things. It's the way he says it. There's something about the way the tone, right? The charisma and the tone combined. It makes you it brainwashes you somehow into understanding what he's trying to say.
I think that's part of it. He's convincing. But one of the things was people don't stop playing games because they grow old. People grow old because they stop playing games. All right? That's very subtle, very, very important. You got to go out and have a few drinks. You got to buy a sports car and drive it around like a douche. You've got to if you work out, which I don't, show off your guns. If you're going to get some tattoos or something like that, you've got to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
I would say you need to be an individual. You need to aspire to be what I would call a singular human being. There's only one of you. If you know the guy or who's an accountant or he's a lawyer and he wears a suit and he drives the BMW and he's always manicured this and that and he doesn't talk about anything but politics. It's like, no. I want to be interesting and different and creative and inspiring. And that means taking risks and taking chances in all different ways. And you're going to anger some people. But I used to watch this show, Nip Tuck. It was a great show about plastic surgeons in Miami.
Yeah.
And in one of the episodes, Christian Troy had died on the show. And he was Julian McMahon, who actually just died in real life. He was great. And Sean, his business partner, did the eulogy at the funeral. And it was like a fake funeral, I think. But he said, Christian was flawed, but he lived. And he said it so quick, you forget what he said before. You forget he's flawed. He lived. You could tell that Sean was jealous of the guy. because he wished he had done stuff like that. He wished that he'd gone out into the world and tried things, and he wished that he had dated more or taken more adventures. Or Christian Troy was always in the Ferrari, and he was always at the nightclub with the women, and he was always doing these interesting, crazy stuff and remodeling his place and doing these odd things. But don't you want to do that? Don't you want to be an individual like CHARLIZE Theron? Everything is about CHARLIZE Theron.
I mean, the answer is obviously yes, right? Nobody wants to be the pathetic person they are. Everybody wants to be Superman. Everybody wants to be awesome. The hard part is, how do you unlock awesomeness within yourself? And that starts with loving who you are, I think.
I think what it starts with is getting a blood transfusion from me.
Because that might work, right? Vampires do that all the time.
If I just sweat on you, awesomeness. I just bleed awesomeness. It's just, you have to believe it. You have to be infected by it.
Well, there is something to that, right? That's why, like, two celebrities have a kid and the kid becomes a celebrity as well, right? It is in the DNA for sure. I don't believe in the whole thing of where they say, like, it's in your genetics. That's why you have big muscles, right? But it is kind of. There is, 1% genetics and the rest is hard work for sure. There has to be something on the inside. It's got to be in you,
One of the things we want to do with the show and in general in life is inspire people to take risks, to take chances, to do those things that you've always wanted to do. Public speaking.
Yeah.
I do stand-up comedy. Whatever it is, you go skydiving, you go bungee jumping. Like, what are you waiting for? If not you, when? If not now? Wait, no. It's the buzzballs. They don't help. It's if not you, who? Yeah. If not now, when?
Yeah.
This is the way to make terrible quotes.
Yeah. And you are getting to something. You're getting to fear, right? Yeah. A lot of people are scared to do something. But I tell you what, Will Smith opened my eyes on that. He said something that kind of clicked in me, and it's kind of helped me out quite a bit. He said that one time he went skydiving, and he was scared to death when he was standing at that door on the airplane, right? He was scared to death to jump out of the plane. But once he jumped out of the plane, all the fear was gone, and it was just awesome. And the funny thing is that the door is not even there. The door is open. You can literally see through the doorway. And we're all like that. We all get scared, even though we already know that on the other side of the door is going to be awesomeness. Like, we see this in kids all the time. Parents are like, hey, kid, try a piece of broccoli. And the kid's like, no. But then they eat it, and they're like, yeah. It's like, how about you go jump off the diving board? No. But they do it, and they're like, wow, it's awesome. And so that fear starts off at a very young age. And we just have to outgrow it. We have to constantly try and try and try new things until we outgrow the fear.
See you at the body, Richter. You're right, man. I went skydiving when I was 18 years old. And I remember being on the plane, just like you're saying, and not wanting to jump.
Yeah.
I think I went second to last. It was not like an order. You kind of got up, or you gestured to the person. I was strapped to a guy, or he asked you. And the fear of the regret and embarrassment of not jumping
that's interesting.
Was greater than the fear of jumping out of the plane.
Yep.
So it's like that, the old thing, if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you?
Yes, you would, because of that. Yeah.
So I distinctly remember I did not want to jump out of that plane.
Interesting.
But exactly like you talked about, I thought you were going to say he regretted smacking Chris Rock, which he probably does. But
that was all shows.
Once you leave the plane, it was nothing. The fear was gone. Skydiving, you're 13 miles up. If you jumped off the roof of this house, you'd probably break your legs or your knee. That's frightening. You're so high up, there's no buildings to hit. There's nothing you're falling that you can see the height difference. But, I don't know if I'd do it again. It was interesting. I do have a videotape. I have a VHS tape of it, which shows how long ago it is.
So basically, you can't watch it at all, because what is that?
What? I still have a VHS player, and you can digitize it, you bastard.
The funny thing is, you hit on something very interesting, is peer pressure, right? if you and your buddies are going to jump out of a plane and you don't do it, you're never going to live it down. You're going to literally have to change your life and get new friends, which is impossible. You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But like, what if Charlize Theron was up there? You're jumping out of the airplane. No question asked, right?
Yeah. Well, what's she offering?
It doesn't matter. You're on a date with Charlize Theron, and
Yeah,
she's like,
the
"We're jumping out of
embarrassment.
the plane."
Yeah, you're right. Everything comes back to Charlize Theron. Yeah, if she's on the plane, you're like, I'm not jumping. There's no way. And she comes out of some hidden compartment. You're jumping.
Yeah, you're jumping.
Like she could get anybody to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We could make a list. You know, would you scuba dive with sharks? Well, if she's there, you're probably going to be the first one in.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the great motivator, I think. But it was fascinating doing it and being there. And then, you know, you're falling for like a minute and you can't breathe too well, but not like panicking like you're going to die. And having the person strapped to you certainly helps. And then they pull the chute. What didn't help, I went on a college trip from Rollins College with
Great
the
college.
rock.
Good college, by the way.
With the rock group. And we stayed overnight in Zephyr Hills, Florida, where we did it. And we were in tents. And there were these people running around like huffing paint cans all night, making noise. We didn't know who they were. Turns out the next day, those are our skydiving instructors and trainers and the people we were strapped to, which was very frightening. What helps is when you're 18, you're indescribably stupid. And so you still go ahead with it.
I think they made a movie about that, Point Break.
They made like a dozen movies about that. Point Break
Drop Zone was another one.
was interesting. Yeah, there was
Wesley Snipes.
Terminal Velocity. How do you make a whole freaking movie about skydiving? Unbelievable.
Oh.
You know, and yeah, Point Break was interesting. Johnny Utah, Gary Busey. I mean, interesting. They tried to remake it with some guy, Luke Bracey, and I'm sure it was horrifying. Anthony Kiedis was in that. The guy from Cyborg, Vincent Klein, nobody knows what I'm talking about, was in that. I played War Child.
Great movie.
It was pretty good. I mean, you know, it was a little stupid. Lori Petty is like the short-haired girl. Like,
yeah,
it was kind of cheesy.
Easy. I liked it.
It was interesting and weird, and the tough guy, and you know, Patrick Swayze is a fascinating guy who was a chain smoker. And then he died at like 59 or something. Yeah. And I think he said that probably had something to do with it. Yeah, I think it did.
He lived though, right? He lived.
He did. And, you know, he was one of those fascinating guys who I'm sure was in love with Charlize Theron. And yeah, he had a very interesting life, a great career. And it sucks that it was cut short. It sucks that he was addicted to nicotine, which really did kill him because he was a superior athlete.
He danced, right?
Yeah, he was a dancer. It was funny. So there's a Netflix documentary called, you know, How Movies Were Made, and one of them is Dirty Dancing. We love movies.
That's a good movie too.
Yeah, it's a great movie. One of the things we're going to talk about on the show. It's fascinating. All of these movies are the same. You see the finished product and you're like, perfect, perfect, perfect. You have no idea. They couldn't find who to play the part. Patrick Swayze blew out his knee like at age 20. So he had on his resume no dancing. They interviewed Billy Zane and a couple other women, and it's always like that where you couldn't get this guy, you couldn't get this girl. They don't know who's going to work and what's going to. It was always, and then the studio doesn't want this person, and then this person's not available, and then the money and that goes over budget, and then they do the movie and it's terrible, and they go back and edit it.
I've always wondered about that. Because there's some characters that like they're just perfect for the role, right? Like Wolverine, man. Holy cow, dude. What's his name? You know his name.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh
Jackman.
Was
offered like, to Russell Crowe first.
Exactly. But like he's the perfect Wolverine. So how is he not the first one asked? You know what I mean? It's very interesting.
That's after the fact. It's just like anything in life. You dated 50 different women and you end up with one. You don't know. And somebody else might have been better at it, but you can't imagine anybody else doing it. You can't imagine anybody else doing Batman than Christian Bale, the last couple.
Maybe they're not the right fit for the role until you put them in makeup and costume or whatever.
Well, you'd have to see apples to apples somebody else doing it. But yeah, it seems like it's just meant to be. The point is, that these movies, these characters, they're throwing them together. They're trying to figure out. They're winging it. And one of the best ever is First Blood, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They do the movie. They finish the movie, okay? They edit it all together. They show it to him. He and his partners tried to buy the movie back. It was so awful.
Yeah.
Because, and Stallone was talking about this on Howard Stern show, the movie was full of tons and tons of Rambo dialogue, all sorts of dumb quips, stupid sayings, way too much language. And that was what they had a problem with. So Stallone, in his genius, went back and said, all right, let's have him say almost nothing. So they take out all of his lines, and then you get the depth, you get the despair, he's acting with his eyes, with his face, with his body movements.
Yeah.
That's what did it. Just like Jaws, who just had the 50th anniversary. If the shark worked on Jaws, okay, the shark didn't work, over budget. Spielberg thinks he's never going to direct. He'll be out of the business. He'll be pumping gas. Richard Dreyfuss the same. He's like, I'll never work again. If the shark worked, the movie would have been terrible.
Yep.
The whole point of the movie, and Spielberg admits this, is the John Williams score was 50% of the success of the movie because it took the place of the shark that didn't work. And it turns out what you didn't see was much more frightening than what you did see. And you don't see the shark until halfway through the movie, really. And that was the whole point, what's in the shadows, what you don't see. And the music just took the place. Halloween did the same thing.
Well, Jaws did something no other movie ever has done, right? Jaws was able to scare so many humans on the planet. To this day, 40 some years later,
50.
we still, you just said that, right? The anniversary, you're right. We still look in the swimming pool for sharks. And that doesn't even make sense. People are so scared from that movie. We look in the swimming pool for sharks. Every person that's watched that movie is scared to get in the ocean. It is amazing how intense that movie scared us.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. It broke all the box office records. Probably the greatest movie, I think, of all time. Again, I said, just had the 50th anniversary. Saw it in the theater with my family, which is amazing. Just such a brilliant, that movie, the cast and the direction and everything. But again, it was like a horrifying mess. Nothing worked. There's sailboats in the background, so they got to wait 3 hours to get the shot. Everybody's seasick. It was a disaster. The sharks didn't work because of the salt water. But just a masterpiece that eventually came together.
Did you ever like the ride at Universal?
Yeah, the ride at Universal was very good.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't like going to the ocean because of Jaws.
Yeah.
And Spielberg has talked about one of his largest regrets is he's sort of responsible for really millions of sharks. Well, millions of sharks being killed as predators where really they rarely bite humans. It's usually an accident. They're predators, but they're just sort of there doing their job. And you're invading their space, and then they, mistake
It's their
you.
house, yeah. They're hungry, and it's their house.
Yeah, you come in my house, you're probably going to get bit.
Yeah. Well, some people like that, though.
But every pool I've ever had, I put a real shark in, just so I don't have to have that irrational fear. I replace it with a rational fear of an actual shark.
I think if I ever were to make like a, $1 million custom pool, I might actually put some kind of shark design on the bottom just to scare people.
It's a good idea.
Or the floaty things that are always moving around, vacuuming it and whatnot. Maybe have one shaped like a shark. That'd be really cool.
It's got to be one of the most dangerous occupations is shark dentist.
I thought you were going to say CHARLIZE THERON.
That too. But CHARLIZE THERON's dentist, that would be dangerous, especially if you're married. But the shark dentist, that guy must have some real insurance. You know what I mean? That guy, he's got probably 3 of 10 fingers left.
Here's the thing about teeth. Humans are the only ones, as far as I know, that brush their teeth. So no other animal on the planet needs a dentist. And yet, I've never heard of a gorilla losing a tooth or a shark. Well, sharks lose teeth all the time, but in general, do animals lose teeth as much as humans?
You know what's funny?
Nobody cares?
Yeah. Nobody cares, number one. Number two, in the United States, you will have dentists and orthodontists, and they'll have the nicest cars, the nicest houses. They do really well. But in Great Britain, where nobody brushes their teeth, dentists live in alleys, with homeless people.
Are there dentists there?
That's a good point.
I've never actually checked.
Yeah. It's like
I
that.
imagine
They
there are.
talk about that. It's like all they do is they're in pubs smoking and playing darts and drinking, and nobody wears deodorant, and
It is
they have
quite fun
bad
there, though.
teeth. I've never been.
And
You've
I
been to
enjoy,
England?
I enjoy their comedy.
Yeah? Yeah. Well,
I like the drier humor.
some of that. The Ricky Gervais is I don't know. Stephen Merchant I find pretty funny.
I like Scotch eggs, and I like shepherd's pie.
Oh, you like the food?
Yeah, food's good.
Yeah.
I like beer. I like pubs.
I dated a British girl once. Man, she was wild.
I do like the accent as well.
She was like 6'2". I met her in the summer of '98.
Was her name John?
No, I
No.
can't remember her name. She was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Maron.
But
Yikes.
like we said earlier, she's not CHARLIZE Theron. So yeah, guys out there, if you're single, shoot your shot. You never know. She's pissed off. She can't find a good guy. She just might say yes.
Yeah.
But by the way, CHARLIZE, I'm free.
we need a Charlize Theron. I can't do Charlize. I can do Schwarzenegger.
Well,
I
he's a
can
dude
do
though.
Pacino.
He's a dude too.
Well, but you can do the high pitched voice or something. You can try and figure it out.
Oh, you're talking about
Impression. Yeah, I know what you're
Just to be clear there.
Mine's in the gutter.
The show's not quite like that.
Yeah, no, not exactly. But
So we've talked a lot about movies. So what about Rocky? Rocky is one of those movies where I could watch the entire series back to back, nonstop, and love it every single time I watch it.
really, the whole series?
I love it, man. At the least, the original ones, right?
Have you done
But I
that?
love it. Yeah.
You need a lobotomy afterwards.
So on TV, almost any time of the year, you can find Rocky on some channel somewhere and watch them back to back. And I really love those movies.
Well, they're very motivational, which is great.
Yeah.
We talk about advice on this show. We talk about taking risks and chances. I mean, Stallone is one of the greatest in history in so many different areas, but especially in that. Started with nothing, coming from nothing, believing in himself. He had a birth defect. He did everything to become successful in the business. And one of the things he did is he wrote that movie, and then he held out because he wanted to star in it. And they offered him so much cash. He had to sell his dog. He was virtually.
That's horrible, by the way. Don't ever do that.
But he bought the dog back. But he was like, he couldn't feed him. So virtually homeless. And, he just believed in himself because he knew. And what he always says is, if he sold it, it became a massive hit, and whoever starred in it, became a huge, box office success, he would have hated himself. So that's like any of those things about regret. Just do it. Just jump out of the airplane if you're skydiving. I remember being on a rock water slide once. The same thing. I did not want to go, but I didn't want to miss out. So you got to take those chances, those risks. Look at the life he's had, the career he's had.
Well, along those lines, I am hardcore fan of Schwarzenegger. He is the only person that I know that is living the American dream the way it's supposed to be dreamed and lived. He's from another country. He came over here with nothing, and he made it happen. I mean, he's done everything. Movie star, politics, muscles, you name it. He's done it all. He's the man. I would totally vote for him for president. You know what I mean? Like, I believe what he says, and he's an awesome person. He's living the dream, the American dream that none of us seem to be able to do.
What do you mean he's right here?
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah, man, I got to work on my Schwarzenegger.
You do. It's horrible.
Yeah, you'll be
But at
right.
least you're trying. At least you're trying. For those that are listening on, the radio or whatnot, he just had a mask on trying to be Schwarzenegger. Very, very close resemblance, but the voice was off.
See you at the party, Victor.
Charlize Theron could have probably done a better impression.
Has she done a movie with Schwarzenegger? She
no,
should.
No, but she did great in Old Guard. That movie was amazing.
Yeah.
I like tough chicks. I just recently learned this about myself.
Yeah.
I've been doing CrossFit for a couple of years now, and CrossFit did not exist when I was younger, so I didn't know these girls with muscles existed.
Duggo has standards. He will only go out with a woman who can beat him arm wrestling. So if
I suck
Charlize
at arm wrestling. my
can't
guy.
beat him, nothing.
Yeah,
She's
not good
gone.
enough.
She's gone. But I agree with him about Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger is incredibly impressive.
He's amazing.
You know, when he made a big mistake, he knocked up his maid, which I don't suggest you do.
I don't know if that was a mistake. It happens, but I mean,
It does happen.
he's still a great man.
Who hasn't knocked up a maid?
But we're talking about staples in another episode, right?
Yeah.
Guys do stupid shit.
Yeah, they
You
do.
know?
But same thing with Stallone. Started with nothing, from nothing, even greater than Stallone. Comes from overseas. Sees body, but has the vision, the goal, sees the future, makes it happen, manifests it.
Yeah.
Governor that marries a Kennedy into American royalty.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Unbelievable success and wealth. He's a billionaire.
Dedication, mindset, everything.
Yeah. And he, James Cameron talks about him, who's director of Terminator, and says, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets the cosmic joke of the universe. And I think that's a very, very important statement. And I think that means something different to everyone.
Yeah.
But to me, what that means is you're going to die. You might as well take some chances. You're going to die. You might as well take some risks. You might as well go for those dreams now, because when are you going to do them? You got to go talk to that woman you like, Charlize Theron. You've got to find out what you're trying to achieve and do it. You've got to buy the sports car. You've got to build the recording studio. You've got to start the podcast. You got to go to Dirty Bingo. You got to drink Buzz Balls. You've got to work out. You got to have some fun. Do stand-up comedy.
You know what's funny though? Schwarzenegger, he's got like a pet horse, and he rides a bicycle, and he smokes a cigar while riding the bicycle and petting his pet horse.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much charisma and comedy and storytelling and manliness in that alone.
He's got a tank.
Yeah. Like, instead of
it's just
driving a
too cool.
Lambo, he's riding a bicycle. There's nothing cooler than that.
He's just too cool. I mean, everything about him. Now his next chapter of his life, he's doing motivational speaking, which is phenomenal. It's exactly where he should be. When I go to the gym, I listen to him talk about success. And he's got a couple of rules. Ignoring the naysayers. When people tell you can't do it, this is stupid, you're never going to make it, why try? Always try. Always go for it. You've got to have, he says, give something back. He says, believe in yourself, work on yourself, have a goal, have a vision. He's got these wonderful, great things, make a difference.
What's cooler is I have like a personal connection as well with him. So my dad, I never told you this, my dad had his like bodybuilding encyclopedia, and I remember reading through that as a child and connecting with my father, talking about weightlifting and working out and being healthy and muscles and all these things. And it's really cool to me that he even inspired my father. You know what I mean? So there's a really cool connection there for me, just been talking about Schwarzenegger. Because of that, just through weightlifting alone, I was able to connect with my own father. It's really cool.
As a garden variety idiot with one Buzz Ball in me, what I got
Speaking about yourself, right?
What I got from what Duggo just said is that he spent his entire childhood reading about men in Speedos. He was just looking at hot, nearly naked men, like well-developed, like his whole childhood. That's what I heard from that.
What I heard is that you called Schwarzenegger hot. I personally was just talking about a book and connecting with my father. But yes, because of that, I have spent my entire life in the gym working out. And it doesn't look like it because I've had a series of health issues and all kinds of other things going on in my life that made me too busy to go to the gym. But yeah, it's definitely been, he's been someone to look up to my entire life for sure.
What Duggo's talking about are distractions, because he's been stalking Charlize Theron this whole time. So every time he goes to the gym to work out, he just, he's stuck on the Instagram looking at her and what she's doing and who she's going out with, Benedict Cumberbatch
Actually,
or whatever,
maybe I should look
Idris Elba or something like that, whoever she's dating or whoever's on top of her at the current moment.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah. That sounds good, actually. I'd like to see that firsthand.
Anyway, we feel bad that she has trouble finding the man. But hey, all you single guys out there, shoot your shot because she's open and ready.
There's two of us, so maybe she's looking for the two guys. But I'm married. I'm
Some
off the
girls like
market. I know. You can cry your tears of despair that Mike Steele is not available.
That's okay. Doug O is out there and ready to have fun.
That's right. And if you have a bodybuilding encyclopedia with a bunch of Speedos, he'll be the first one to read it.
Well, the interesting thing is that bodybuilding has changed over the years. It's different now. Yeah, I'm learning a ton doing this CrossFit stuff. It's a completely different mentality than what I'm used to.
Are there women in the magazines? Is that what you mean?
At CrossFit, yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Good times.
And they're all stronger than me, it's interesting. At first, it made me very upset, but now I'm kind of digging it for sure.
Yeah, me too. My sister's super fit.
She does like martial arts, right?
Yeah, she does jujitsu. She does like marathons and Ironmans and all that. She's a very impressive human being. She's one of those people who she'll point and you can see the triceps. Every time she moves, you can see the muscles, which is a really neat, interesting thing. She's got great discipline. And
that's what it all boils down to is discipline.
Yeah, it's a very impressive person. Not as impressive as CHARLIZE Theron, but nobody is.
Well, I mean, we don't know her on a personal level, do we?
It doesn't matter. None of what you just said matters. What matters is
what if she were a typical girl? You know what I mean?
She's not. It's clearly Doug has had too many beers because he's dissing CHARLIZE Theron.
It does happen. I'm not dissing her at all. But think about it. If she were the typical girl, is that why she's single?
I don't know.
Or
what is typical
because she's not the typical girl?
I would assume that CHARLIZE Theron is single because she wants to be.
Well, she says that. They all say that. That's not the truth. Nobody wants to be single.
If you listen to what she says, I imagine that, maybe she doesn't get hit on and she should get hit on. I don't know. I would imagine that she runs her life the way she wants, and maybe the average guy doesn't like that. That she's going to call you back or text you when she gets around to it or feels like it. I bet she's very loyal. I heard stuff like that. And we know way too much about this lady. I
know nothing about her. It's just a good topic.
I do. I heard that she's like super loyal and once she's with a guy, that's it. She can't see anything else.
Interesting.
But I bet you have to get on her wavelength, which is she has kids. She's got a mom.
Does she have kids?
Yeah, she has two adopted kids. African American kids.
Gotcha.
I think so. And that's her priority. She's got a career. She's doing commercials. You don't see these celebrities in too many commercials here. You're starting to see some of them on ads like Dior. They do commercials overseas all the time. Brad Pitt will get on a private jet, and a Japanese company will pay him $7 million, and he'll go over there and do one of those freaky, with a bunch of strobe light, weird voiced. The commercials over there are different. Everything's different, and they just don't do them here too much. They do them every once in a while, but I bet she does a ton of that stuff. She's all over the place, very worldly, speaks Dutch or Afrikaans at least.
Really?
Yeah, she's South African.
Wow.
She has no accent though, but when she got here, she couldn't, speak
our buddy is South African and he hides the accent, but when he brings it out, it's a whole other person. It's interesting.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Yeah, he was my college roommate for a little bit of time.
Anywho, movies, right? What movie could you watch back to back? I said Rocky. What movie could you watch back to back other than Jaws? I know you really like
tough.
You can't say the basic stuff like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
No, but back to back. I mean, some of the Mission Impossibles, a lot of.
Really?
Yeah. I like Steven Seagal. I like action movies. I like martial arts. When I watch a TV show or a movie, I want 3 pages of disclaimers. I need nudity, violence, drug use. I need all that stuff to be explosions and action. Karate, real action. I mean, the John Wick stuff's interesting. It's not really for me, all the gunplay and.
I love the fact that someone hurts his dog, so he kills an entire corporation. I mean, that's insane. No, I think it's awesome.
If someone hurt my dog,
Yeah, I'd do the same thing.
I
sure.
would throw you through an effing wall. I love my dog so much. That would be a major problem. That might be some jail time.
But speaking of martial arts, you do capoeira, right?
Capoeira, yeah, Brazilian martial art.
I own this movie on VHS titled Only the Strong.
You know what's great about
And it
Only
is
the
an
Strong
amazing movie. I love that movie.
is the main bad guy is doing capoeira in tight jeans and
Yeah.
cowboy boots. Probably
you
not
know.
the best way to do it.
It's for the ladies.
But that guy from Iron Chef, Mark
Yeah.
Dacascos, is
He's
in that.
amazing. He knows all kinds of martial arts.
Yeah. Capoeira is super fun. What a wonderful thing to have stumbled upon about 15, 18 years ago. With the master is an unbelievable guy. He's like a second father. He's just a beautiful human being. He's created this wonderful family. It is a family. People don't get it. When you go into the academy, you are part of a family. If you have a problem, they'll help you with it. You get together for cruises, for trips, for birthday parties. Everybody is positive. It's a very wonderful environment. You learn, I couldn't recommend it more. They have a daycare that teaches kids flexibility.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. The Capoeira Academy,
in
Orlando, Florida, with Mestre Lázaro Santos.
There you go.
From Salvador, Bahia.
Now everybody knows what you're talking about.
Now everybody knows what I'm talking about. But you learn 3 instruments. You learn the Portuguese songs.
The berimbau, do you know?
The berimbau, the atabaque, and the pandero, and at least 3 instruments. There's like a dozen instruments, and there's hundreds of songs. It's really a wonderful thing, and you learn self-defense and fitness and flexibility, and you can go as far with it as you like. Discipline. You learn how to hit on CHARLIZE THERON.
That might be what she wants, is a guy to wrestle with, right?
That's probably deep down what she's saying is she wants a guy like me who's 49, who's overweight, who does capoeira. She's waiting for me, but unfortunately I'm married.
You're living a different life. Yeah, it happens.
I can't. I'm sorry, Charlize. Let me apologize publicly.
I think that happens to a lot of girls. They expect to be married and find the one by the time they're like 25. But what if your one is in Scotland and you never go to Scotland? Well, of course, you're never going to meet him, right?
I was thinking about this the other day. I used to be single, of course. I used to date a lot. And I got to a point where I was done with the nonsense. And by that, I mean I was dating women who I didn't see a future with them. And what I did is I eventually evolved to a place where I stopped doing that. I'd go out on a date. Not that I'm perfect in any way, but I would see qualities in them. They'd be complaining about their ex. They'd be raising their kids. And I was like, no, this is not going to work. And then that would be it. No more dates. I wouldn't get involved with them in any way. I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't let them use me. And I just started to kind of grow up and say, this is, I was having all these failed relationships. It wasn't working for me. So
dating wasn't working?
It wasn't working. The hooking up with women who you didn't have anything in common with, or you saw a million red flags, and you knew it was just going to be nonstop problems. I don't care how hot they are, unless it's CHARLIZE THERON.
So if you haven't figured it out by now, we're trying to use her name as much as possible.
If I'd met a CHARLIZE THERON type, then that might have changed things. I might have ignored all the red flags.
So speaking of dating, I don't date. Every girl that I have had a relationship with, including my wife, it was instant connection, and 5 minutes later we were like boyfriend, girlfriend forever, or for that amount of time. I never really dated.
Let me get another buzz ball.
Yeah, I could use one too, please.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I never really dated. It was just instant connection, and you dive head first. You dive into love, or whatever you want to call it.
Dating was fun. Here you go, man.
Yep, thanks. Hey, check it out. You talked over there, and now it's at the Corvette Bar. Corvette Bar, ladies and gentlemen.
Now I got to move the camera. We're in like 1922 technology here, where we're turning the camera with our own hand because we have no idea what we're doing.
Brand new camera doesn't work. Happens all the time.
You'll be okay.
But the best noise
Yeah, probably the
Never?
best night ever is opening a buzzball.
No, opening a beer sounded better actually.
What? You just insulted the buzzball.
That's right.
That's like insulting
It's like chocolate
the
milk.
Queen, Charlize Theron.
Chocolate milk
Char.
with alcohol in it.
But, dating was a lot of fun. But I hit a point where I wanted to settle down. And it's not that I was like looking for a family, but it just sort of happened. And I met my wife, and we started hanging out and spending time together. We took it really, really slow. She's very serious about that sort of thing. She had 2 kids. So that just sort of worked. Hit a certain age. I met her when I was like 39, when I was just getting tired of all the games, tired of losing relationships. So, you got to open yourself up for stuff like that. And the key to me was to stop messing around, stop lying, stop cheating, stop being an adolescent, I guess you would say. When you meet someone and you want to get to know them, it's one of those things. If you're planning your life out where you're partying all weekend, that's not a relationship. Margaritas on the beach in Aruba is not the norm. So
what is if you live there?
That's true. But you can't just do that. You have to get to know them. A relationship is stress, it's problems, it's solving issues, it's communicating.
Well, wait a minute.
It's having a plan for the future.
There's many different types of relationships. You got to specify.
Yeah, but I'm right. Everything I say is right. Just do what I say and you'll be fine.
Yeah. There's different types of relationships. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about marriage?
Yeah, and okay. So, I made the commitment, and then marriage is worth it. Marriage is a ton of work. It's very challenging. You really, really, really want to be careful who you hook yourself up to in a legal agreement, who you have kids with.
I think you're talking about me now, but yeah.
I don't know who you are. I'm about to call 911 to get you out of my house because you're drinking all my buzzballs.
They're delicious. The company is female owned, if that matters to anybody out there, which is really interesting.
Speaking of female owned, Doug is way too close to me here, man. Let's get a little bit of separation there.
I feel like the camera zoomed in when you rotated.
Not that we have any clue what we're doing. But you figure it out by doing it. You figure it out by trying. You figure it out by getting involved in something. You've got one life. You have 100 years to do something. My grandfather said,
or less.
You're on this earth to make a difference. Why not be interesting, dynamic, creative? Why not help people? Why not figure out how to have patience and understanding and abundance and then share it? Why not have a podcast where you drink too much and say dumb things about an actress who probably doesn't care if you're alive?
She doesn't. But she's human, so she might. That's the good thing, guys.
My chair on the show is nicknamed Jim Cherry. Duggo's seat is called CHARLIZE THERON.
It might be after today.
I bet that broad would find that funny. She is a broad, which is a great thing. She's somebody who likes to curse, likes to drink, likes to smoke, likes to have a good time, wants to have an. And one of the greatest things she said, I heard in an interview, would you want to live forever? She's like, F no.
Yeah, not if you're in a wheelchair.
No, but she was like, I'm here to do this and this and that and raise my kids and have, some great loves of my life and amazing experiences, and then I want to go. And I feel the same way. I want to make sure everybody's okay. I want to be the last one standing of the adults. Everybody's sorted out, and then I'll check off. All right? So I got
to take that one step further. She seems like she's a lot of fun, right? Most girls, especially the ones in relationships, they're not fun. At least that's what the guy is feeling. He just doesn't know how to say it. Because they don't want you to drink. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want to go on adventures. They don't want to joke. They don't want to have fun, And she seems like she'd be a lot of fun.
What if, like Al says, she has a great ass?
Well, that's part of the fun, right?
That is true.
But we don't want to be mean or anything like that. But in general, she seems like she'd be a lot of fun to hang out with.
Well, that's important. It's tricky. You got to watch it because, again, the relationship isn't just the fun. Correct. If you're going out getting schnockered on the weekends and then you're fighting all week.
Yeah.
That's not good either. You've got to communicate. You have to figure out what you're trying to do. One of the problems with people is they don't communicate. They just hang out.
Yeah.
What people should do is you should get to know the person. You got to ask questions. You got to, how do you discipline your kids? How do you feel about religion? How do you feel about finances? You have to talk about these things. You're going to be in a situation with a person who might eventually be standing over your hospital bed and have to make choices for you. So you want to link up with someone who's got their head together, who's got things sorted out, who is selfless, who will help you with different things, who will be patient, communicate with you, will be loyal, and go in the ups and downs. Life does not give an absolute crap about your plan, and everything is going to go wrong at the same time. And you need a confidant, that thing where you've got that 10-foot wall, and when you push her up, if you push her up to the top, she needs to put her hand down to help you get up. That person who is happy moving you forward just as you're happy moving them forward. It's not 50-50 division of labor. It's whoever can get to it first and talking about it and figuring out and solving problems, and you will have a depth of a relationship when you're with someone 10, 12, 15 years. You really get to know them. You really hopefully get behind them, what they're trying to achieve. We're all going to be dead. We're going to be in a pine box, or we're going to be in a jar. I'm going to be in this jar. That's why I got this right here. This jar, this cocaine jar right here. It says, all right, that's where I want my ashes to be.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, and then if someone accidentally snorts me, wonderful.
Speaking of communication, right? There's a go-to that I have that people laugh at me when I say it, but I truly believe it makes sense because of our culture. It might not work in other cultures, but in America it works. It's like, if you're bit by vampire, werewolf, or zombie, what would you rather be bit by? And then after they answer it, it's, well, which type? So for example, my ex would be a vampire all day, every day. Cold, lives in a city, gothic stuff, angry, bites people, whatever. I'm more of a werewolf. I'd rather be half naked with my shirt off on the beach. I'd rather be transforming into a dog, a wolf, whatever, right? But then, okay, it goes one step deeper. What type of werewolf? The Harry Potter werewolf, the underworld werewolf. What type of werewolf? What type of vampire? What type of zombie, right? And it's stupid, right? It's unbelievably stupid, but we've all seen the movies. And so based on how you answer that, it tells you a lot about the person you're dating.
Speaking of that, does anyone know how to spell straitjacket? Because Amazon Prime delivery tomorrow. Are you a 42 regular?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get one for Doug O because he's going off the deep end. It happens. So one of the things is why we call this the Frenemy Show.
Like, would you be a sparkly vampire?
I don't know what you're talking about. What I want to know is your R-Pats or T-Lots. Yeah, I'm a Twilight fan, which means I'm going to take my man card and mail it to Alaska.
It is kind of hot, vampire, werewolf looking.
Dude, that that Kristen Stewart does something to me. She's in the Charlize Theron category. I like that woman.
I don't know about that.
When that woman's top lip sticks out further than her bottom lip, like Zoe Kravitz, maroon. I don't know what's going on there, dude.
Which one is Zoe? Is she the one that was the green one on Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, that's
Zoe something else.
Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
Yeah, Doug thinks all Zoes are the same person, which is odd.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's, he hit his head a lot as a child and an adult and today. But no, Zoe Kravitz is Lenny Kravitz's daughter with Lisa Bonet, who used to be married. She's a dirty, dirty, hot woman.
Yeah,
she was in the last Batman. Unfortunately, she got the short hair. I like her better with long hair. But she's a cutie pie. She was in one of the X-Men movies. And why did I start talking about her?
No idea.
Anyway, Kristen Stewart, let me tell you, man, that pale kind of, there's something about her with that paleness and the dark hair. Man, yeah, I like that.
She likes chicks, though, I think.
Hey, even better. It's like that old saying, You come home, your wife's in bed with another man, you get the shotgun. You come
Yeah.
home, she's in bed with a woman. It's
You jump
Miller
in.
time.
Yeah, you jump in.
It's Miller time. You're like, hey, where's the tripod? Does anybody, can we get Uber Eats? Do they deliver Stroh's Light? I think so.
No,
It's time.
You
to
ask her if she ordered Uber
The
Eats.
tequila, you get out the tequila shots. Literally, if you came home and your woman is in bed with another woman, you're locking the door.
Well, if they say yes. If
What
they
do
say
you
jump
mean?
in.
If they jump, you pull out the iPhone and get the evidence. And, hopefully it's Charlize Theron.
She's not into that, is she? I don't know.
Yeah, she is. Has
she said it? Is
Yeah.
there evidence?
She was making out with girls in every movie.
That's probably
every
why
movie
she
that
can't
I've
find
seen
a
with
guy.
her. Yeah, that's true.
That's probably
That's like
why she can't
that's like
find a guy.
Liberace. He's like, I can't find the right woman. He's talking about in like 1966 on the Tonight Show. Yeah, it's probably because you're dating dudes all the
Yeah.
time and you're constantly in gay bars, dude. There's not a lot of chicks there.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. A lot of girls that have made out with girls previously have a hard time finding guys. It's like they're putting off the wrong vibe. But I mean, if you're making out with chicks, then yeah, you're putting off the wrong vibe, right?
It's possible.
I didn't know that about her. Now I'm kind of,
Yeah, now she's about 42 times as hot.
yeah, she's still a million times hotter.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Hmm.
Yeah, but good times. No, she's super cool. Actors, actresses. I mean, I always imagine about that environment. All of those people must be screwing. I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. They're in trailers. They're all
Yeah.
in super good shape. They don't have day jobs. They're all hopped up on drugs and drinking. They're constantly fornicating. The only time, some of them don't even own pants. The only time that they have clothes on is when they're, on
movie.
camera. And then they go back to change. You just know, like Hank Moody
Yeah.
in Californication, you know what's going on there.
I personally think that spies and actors and actresses, right? They should all be single and they should all be bisexual. None of them should have families. None of them should be married because in every single movie they do, they're making out with somebody else. That's literally cheating, even though it's on camera for your job.
Yeah,
So it makes no sense for any of them to be in a relationship.
I agree with you. And it's funny. George Clooney used to be hooking up with this one and that one in the
Yeah.
movies. And then when he met his wife, I noticed he's not doing that. And
Mhm.
he's getting older, but I think he made a conscious decision and a wise one. He said, that's done. I'm wealthy enough, successful enough. I do not need to be doing a movie with a 32-year-old Margot Robbie and rolling around the sheets with her with my wife at home.
Yeah, when you've already got $20 bajillion, you don't need an extra one. You know what I mean? So why risk your family, your marriage, everything just for the
Well,
extra
he's a
dollar?
very, very bright guy. But Brad Pitt does. How does Jennifer Aniston let Brad Pitt do a movie with Angelina Jolie at the height of
Can
the
you-
hotness, the skullduggery?
Can you
You
imagine
know.
all three of them together in bed? My God.
I'm gonna go somewhere private and
Who's
imagine that.
prettier though?
Who?
Brad Pitt's like the prettiest one.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's prettier than Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston combined.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know what happened. I
Yeah.
know what happened. I wasn't there, but I can predict. Angelina Jolie walks into Brad Pitt's trailer and
Yep.
says, Brad, pad, paper. Write down every fantasy that you want that your wife won't do, and I'll do them all in the next 20 minutes. She's a wild one. She woke up one day with a tattoo and a strange guy in Amsterdam. She was on a talk show and she was like, he's like, what's that tattoo? She's like, I don't know where I got it. I don't know how I got it. I woke up with it and I woke up next to two dudes with a sore butt. I was like, ew, that's a good time.
I think Angelina Jolie's hot because she scares me. Like there's something scary about her.
Yeah.
But we're like Jennifer Aniston is interesting because she's just like Charlize Theron. She doesn't have a guy. She's looking for a guy. Has trouble finding them and keeping them. It's interesting.
That's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough. Like J-Lo, what is the secret sauce? What's
Well,
the answer?
she said one time, Jennifer Aniston said one time in some interview that they go to bed with like the movie star and they wake up the next morning with the girl, right? And the girl is not the movie star. They're different people, right? Because you put them on a pedestal, but then you wake up the next morning with the girl who's not that pedestal. Like maybe her hair's messed up, maybe she farted, maybe she has to poop, I don't know, whatever, right? And so you wake up with the girl, not the fantasy. And maybe Charlize Theron has the same issue.
We should probably get them together.
They should be friends. Yeah,
in
they
a
should
hot
talk.
tub with a bottle of tequila and find out the answer to that.
We do have a hot tub here at the studio in the back. So it is possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they'll fly to Orlando just for the hot tub.
I think they will.
They might.
In contrary to Duggo's negative thought there.
You're right. That was very negative. I apologize, ladies.
They'll, like a tractor beam, will just suck them over here. I guarantee I can make it happen. Yeah, I mean, why is,
there's a reason.
Relationships are very hard. That's the thing. Divorce is all over the place. It's very challenging.
Yeah, over 50%.
Well over 50 is divorced. And
lesbians are like 80%.
Then the above that is the people are unhappy and still married. The people are cheating and still married. It's a very challenging modern concept.
I blame high-speed internet. I do.
I blame buzzballs.
Well, so
buzzballs have started. It's been confirmed. If you check Wikipedia, World War I, buzzballs. World War II, the Korean War, all started because of buzzballs.
The bottom line, yours is half full, mine's empty, so you're drinking it too slow. But anyway,
Duggo is right. Since Duggo has finished his buzzball, he should know that he should get another one and get one for me.
You're right. I'll do that. But keep in mind, I do believe high-speed internet is the issue because it's made the world smaller. So we think we can just get rid of our spouses because there's some other chick or dude 5 minutes away, right? And we do believe there's all these other... The camera has rotated. Can you rotate the camera back?
Yeah, this is the amazing technology on this show.
Look at our fridge full of beer. There's Carl. Killing it, Carl.
The Tesla level technology.
We drove a Tesla the other day, by the way.
I'm very upset at Teslas. I do not like electric cars. I like V8 sports cars. When you start them up, cold start, they sound like America. I do not like electric cars. And all you people... No matter how woke you are, you got to sleep sometime. And all you vegans and electric cars, they got the cobalt mining, you got the paving over a field and killing all the voles and snakes and crickets. Everything is doing some sort of damage. You need a V8 sports car. There's no replacement for displacement. That is a man.
Listen, bottom line, the Tesla was so awesome. The technology was so good. It made it boring to drive.
Yeah. The Tesla is the Jennifer Aniston of dating cars.
That's mean.
Right?
That's mean. We don't
the V8 is the Charlize Theron. That's what I'm going to name my next car. That poor Jennifer Aniston. Man, she's been through the ringer.
I like her, man.
I do too, but it's just not working out for her.
Her nipples have been on every TV screen on the planet.
That's probably true. Was she wearing a bra?
I don't know, but no one's ever seen them. But they've still been there.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem because everyone sees her as that sex idol because of that, because of Friends.
Yeah.
But then again, they meet the real girl, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with her. She's probably an amazing person, but they get stuck in the fantasy.
Maybe. I mean, she was in Horrible Bosses where she was really hot, very dirty, like a dirty woman. Like you could get a fire hose and not clean her off. She was like drinking filth smoothies all day, man. Just raw sewage. She was a dirty. Let's stop taping and go watch that movie right now in private. What, you ever hear Kevin Nealon has a great bit about that. He's like, I was watching this movie, an adult movie, and I was interested. I was very interested, extremely interested. Then suddenly not so interested. Suddenly not so interested. And then a couple minutes later, I started watching another one. And I was really interested, getting into it, very interested, then suddenly not so interested.
You lost me. What are we talking about?
That's
too many buzzballs.
That's a dirty joke. Too many buzzballs. Or not enough. Not enough. But I'm pretty sure that Charlize Theron only drinks buzzballs. She should do a commercial for buzzballs if she hasn't already.
It is female owned, right? So she has the N.
Yeah, we're going to dedicate this podcast to her, and she can find Duggo at a local 7-Eleven refilling his trunk with Buzzballs. And if you ever go to Sebby's and you see they're out, Duggo was just there.
I drink them all.
Yeah, he'll be, rolling out of there with his Fiat dragging on the ground because there's so much booze in the trunk.
You know
it's
what?
like Jack Nicholson, 1968.
It's funny you said that. I have a 2017 Fiat 124 Spider, and I'm pretty sure in the movie, The Old Guard, I don't know if it's number 1 or number 2, she drives one.
The problem with that car
There's a connection there.
There is. You can only fit like 100 Buzzballs.
In the stars.
I've got a kidnapped work van. I could fit like 25,000.
No, you've got too much crap in your van.
Yeah, that's true. I do. Well, cheers, folks. Good times.
Yep.
We
Happy
love
hump
you
day.
guys.
Happy
hump day. Creeping it real with Buzzballs. Enjoy your life. You only get one.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Right, Carl? Let's give Carl a drink here. If we can see. It looks like it's Carl drinking. See that? That's movie magic right there. Look at that.
We could add some 3D there.
It's like Spielberg level skill right there. All right. Cheers, folks. I don't know where this thing.
Hit the red button.
How do you hit the red button?